Let's talk about how to get into the university of your choice. Not everybody gets into the college or the university or program of their choice, and that's okay. We can't have every knucklehead in the world getting into Harvard, but if we spend a few minutes to study the academic world, perhaps we can exploit the system to our advantage. Let's understand and analyze the system and its rules, discuss the objective and subjective evaluation criteria that universities use, and then we will finish off by discussing Harvard and options for graduate school. Let's start with better understanding the system. In order to get what you want out of life, you need to be strategic and understand the rules of the system or the rules of the game. I've said many times before that your brain is your best weapon. So if your goal is to get into the university of your dreams, then let's strategically use our brains to figure out how to get admitted. I am a firm believer in lifelong learning and going to the best schools, but I'm also a realist. Rule number one is that a university is a business. They don't care a single bit about students or education. Yes, some teachers really care about you, and of course, some administrators care about you on an individual level. But make no mistake about it, you are a number on a spreadsheet. A university is a business. They need to ensure that you are going to make the school money by paying your tuition and that you will graduate and succeed in your chosen field in accordance with acceptable alumni standards. Of course, the money isn't the bigger issue. That's because you can get student loans. Again, make no mistake about it, the university will get its money, even if it takes some of their alumni 20 years to pay off their student loans. Because a university will get its money, they really only care about rule number 2. A university values the reputation and quality of their alumni, and so that's where we have to focus. The reputation and quality of alumni. Below average kids go to below average schools and they become below average alumni or adults. Average kids go to average schools and become average adults. Above average kids go to above average schools and become above average adults. And exceptional kids go to exceptional schools and they become exceptional adults. I think you get the picture. If you want to get into an above average or an exceptional school, you need to show the admissions team that you have the potential to be an above average or an exceptional adult. You can do this objectively and subjectively. You can objectively prove that you will become an above average adult by getting good grades and performing well on your standardized tests. The better your grades, the smarter you are, and the more likely you are to make good decisions in life and become an above average alumni. Yet, the fact is that some schools and some teachers are easier than others, and this is why standardized tests like the SAT and the ACT are valued more than grade point averages. If you want to get into the school of your dreams, then you need to exceed that school's minimum requirements for standardized test results, and that is going to require you to be smart and to learn how to be a good test taker. So if you aren't smart or you aren't a good test taker, then start studying now. This score is the single most important quantitative metrics for assessing your potential to be an above average alumni. And don't forget, universities will only lower their academic standardized test requirements for gifted athletes. So once you meet the minimum standard of the university of your choice, you need to show them in a subjective way that you are going to be an above average adult. And you do this by showing them that you're already an above average kid. This means that you need to show them that you aren't just like every other knucklehead kid out there who follows the crowd and who are so easily influenced. You need to show them that you're a leader, that you make goals and you accomplish them. Let's move on to the example of getting accepted to Harvard. Chances are the school of your choice is not as competitive, but you can see the principles at work in getting accepted into this exceptional school, which will help you to prepare for an above average school. Last year, Harvard College had 43,330 applicants. 2,009 were admitted and 1,650 matriculated. That's 4% of all applicants start school. To get into Harvard, you must be very smart. Even though this is obvious, thousands of dumb kids apply to Harvard each year. When I say you need to be very smart, I mean that you need to read and study and learn until you get a perfect score on your SAT or ACT. You don't have to get a perfect score on all subjects, but you need a perfect score in at least one. A perfect score basically means that out of 1,000 American high school students, you're number one. If you go to a school with 500 kids and are academically number 3, you are not yet qualified. By having a perfect score on your SAT and being the smartest kid per 1,000, you are showing that you are smart enough to survive the academic rigors of the school. All of my undergrad friends at Harvard, except for one, had 1600s on their SAT. Of course, my buddy was a star football player. Some kids are really smart and they simply take their SAT and they get into the 100th percentile. Others are not so gifted and will need 2 or 3 years of constant reading and learning and studying, so start early. You may be number 5 in 1,000 right now, but that's not good enough. Become number 1. Rule number 2 is to be exceptional. You can't just be smart, you must be exceptional and unique. By being exceptional as a kid, you are showing Harvard that you will be exceptional as an adult. Statistically, elite performers start off as elite performing kids. Playing baseball for your high school is above average, but it's not exceptional. Being a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout is above average, but it's not exceptional. Exceptional is coding your own app and starting a successful business while in high school. Exceptional is starting a successful nonprofit. Exceptional is raising money to provide African schools with thousands of free laptops. Exceptional is volunteering for your local senator and doing research for a piece of legislation which later becomes a law. Exceptional is speaking 4 languages fluently and creating a language tutoring program at school. Average and above average kids don't make it into Harvard. Only the exceptional get in. So for those of you who are thinking about getting into Harvard, you better prove that you are exceptional on your application. Let's finish off by discussing graduate school. The academic standards for graduate school are very high, but they're not as stringent as a college. I did above average on my GREs and was able to score in the top 1,000th percentile on a portion of that test. But what really got me into grad school was that my resume was exceptional. I was an active duty special forces officer in the middle of the global war on terrorism. So if you are a late bloomer and have no chance of getting into Harvard as an undergrad, then make a strategy. Do something exceptional and apply for graduate school a few years later. If you want to beat the system, you need to know how it works. Make yourself competitive by studying as hard as you can to get amazing scores on the standardized tests, and then do something exceptional. This is solid advice for any school or any program or any job, and even advice for life. Study hard and then do something exceptional. Thanks for watching. I hope that you learned something new and are better able to get what you want out of life. Don't forget to subscribe and to forward to a friend who needs to see this. Life is a special operation. Are you ready for it?